Africa, welcome once again to AgroLink on AAU TV, where we are continuing with our discussions on promoting sustainable agriculture within the higher education space. And I have with me a representative of the Animal Science Department of the University of Cape Coast, who is going to assist us in looking at the initiatives that the department is currently undertaking in line with this. My name is Nana Ismobasa. We'll go for a short break, and when we come back, we shall start this interesting discussion. Do stay tuned. Hello, Africa. You're welcome to AgroLink on AAU TV. AgroLink is a program that aims at showcasing and highlighting agricultural activities on the continent. Welcome back from the break. Okay, Doc, yeah, welcome to AgroLink.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll give you the platform to introduce yourself.
Okay, so I'm Dr. Samuel Ayeh Ofori, lecturer in the Department of Animal Science. I'm currently the examination and registration officer of the department, and also the coordinator for our technology village initiatives that we have as far as animal production is concerned.
Okay. So let me when you say technology village initiative, what does it entail?
Yes, so technology village initiatives or technology village enterprises initiatives are initiatives that we undertake that are technology driven. They are not just, for instance, if we have catfish production. We are not just doing catfish as the ordinary farmer there would do it. It is intended to help us do some research with respect to catfish production, marketing, or the catfish value chain. Yes, so that makes it a technology stuff.
Okay.
Exactly. Okay. So we introduce technology into it. How do we do it? How best can we do it in a more sustainable way and also cost effective? Yes.
Okay. So when you even mention conducting your activities in a sustainable way, it takes me to the next question. What does sustainable agriculture mean to you as an animal scientist?
Okay, so sustainable agriculture or agricultural activity is any activity that is climate smart, cost effective, well coordinated and integrated activity that will not deplete the natural resource base but will enhance the conservation or preservation of the natural resource base for use now and the future, whilst we ensure profitability throughout a value chain.
That's a detailed and a very comprehensive understanding. Okay. So now, when we take the animal industry in Ghana or animal rearing industry, we realize that for a very long time, people complain about feed. Feed makes up how fast your animals grow, even what they grow to be. You realize a lot of people are complaining. So what is the Department of Animal Science doing in one way or the other, even in assisting the communities around you?
Good. So we have a number of initiatives. For instance, we have an initiative to reduce the cost of feed in the livestock industry. The first one is to use agro-industrial byproducts, which are in most cases found in our cottage industries. For instance, we have developed the palm kernel oil residue-based feed that can be used to feed livestock I mean, we can use it to feed fish. We can use it to feed poultry. We can use it to feed pigs, and so on and so forth. So when it comes to feed, in Ghana, most of the time we have compounded feed,
Okay.
and or what we call the commercial feeds. Yes. And so we are looking at how best we can use agro-industrial byproducts, which most of the time are thrown away, but are equally useful to replace conventional feed ingredients that are very expensive. Yes, so we can use that to replace maize, we can use it to replace wheat bran, and so on and so forth. Now, wheat bran, for instance, very soon when you go to the market, you not get some, because when they are bringing in broilers for against Christmas, but by the end of this month, most of shops will not get wheat bran there, because now they are using wheat bran to do wheat bran bread, what we call brown bread. So it's not only being competed for in the animal
industry,
it's also being competed for by humans.
Yeah.
Look at the bakeries that we have, and now a lot of people want brown bread,
Yes.
so-called. It is actually the wheat bran they add it to it. That is all. So there is competition for it. So if we can find a substitute of a lower price, then the farmers can now reduce their feed costs, and that will translate into increased profit margin for them. That makes it sustainable. If you don't, if you are talking about sustainability, you don't talk about profitability, forget about it. Because why should it be a continuous thing that the person will do? Unless the person, as a livelihood, the person is making profit from there. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any need.
Hey, that's actually a good one. Okay, so in the wake of graduate unemployment and even governments championing and calling for food security initiatives on the continent, you realize that when it comes to the animal industry, a lot of people say it's expensive. If you even should rear pigs, pigs are they are prolific breeders. They give birth to so many, and that means a lot of housing initiatives, a lot of feed, a lot of so many other things. So how are you or your institution championing such an initiative from your side?
Okay, so to be frank with you, and I will say it on record, that even the rearing for food and jobs, the initiative was born in this room here in 2017.
Oh, wow.
When we did our conference, GSAP GASA conference over here, and if you go to the ministries, the communique that was submitted is there. It was this place that that initiative, rearing for food and jobs, came from us. And coming from us, we had plans to be able to do, how do you call it, produce the foundation stock, as well as even go into feed research to be able to get cheaper but nutritious or very nutritive feed sources for livestock. And so, yes, we have done our part, and we continue to do that using various ways of advocacy. For instance, recently we had the same conference in at KNUST, where we make certain suggestions to government through APD, or what we call the Animal Production Directorate of MOFA. Yes. So, yes, we are doing our part. For instance, we have short courses that we introduce farmers to certain ways of preparing some basic feed ingredients that you can use to compound your feed. So that is part of what we are doing. However, we can do more when we have enough research support funding. Everything about higher educational training is about research, finding out what is in there. Gone were the days where we have to go and look for feed ingredients, go to the lab, and do what we call wet chemistry analysis to find out the nutrient that is in there. One feed ingredient or feedstuff, the analysis will come, if you are not careful, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month. But now with a simple, what we call near infrared spectrophotometer, which is an equipment that is used for feed analysis that you can connect to a computer, just put it on it and it will give you whatever ingredient that is in there. Once you know that, then you know this, oh, if this animal requires this kind of nutrient, this nutrient is here. We can use it to substitute maize, we can use it to substitute maybe soya bean or wheat bran or whatever conventional. But here is the case, we don't have a near infrared spectrophotometer or NRI machine that we can use to do such analysis. And so these are the constraints. You need that.
Yeah.
We need it as for specialization in animal nutrition. You need this. If you go to the private companies, they have it. If they don't have it, they will not be able to prepare the feed that they are preparing. But why is it that we as an institution who should be training people to go there,
yes,
we don't have it because of research funding? So we have all the good things that we can do, all the good initiatives.
Right,
but
if you
then,
don't have the support.
Yes, we need research funding to be able to do things right and get the right results. Otherwise, we can't be able to do much.
Okay, that's understandable. Okay, so now let's look at the disease aspect. You realize that when diseases hit the animal industry, no matter the sector, it's terrible.
Yeah.
The effects are felt on a wide scale and they spread so fast. Yeah, so you realize a lot of people, when it comes to even venturing into animal farming, they are very skeptical. Even poultry, they look at the pros and cons, and sometimes they say the cons outweigh the pros.
Yeah.
So they end up not venturing into it. So what do you have to say in line with this, or what is the department's solution to some of these?
Okay, so currently we have we have trials that we undertake to be able to deal with diseases. Yes, so we have certain, for instance, within our environment, we have certain, so it starts with one, looking at what genetics you have. Everything we talk about in the animal industry, or as far as the performance of the animal is concerned, has to do with the genetics and the environment. So one, we are looking at breeding what we call disease-resistant animals.
Okay.
So if we have, for instance, in the rabbits, the recent, I think last year or so, last 2 years, there was a certain disease that actually wiped away most of rabbit breeds in Ghana. But ours was intact because we select for disease resistant. So if there is a disease outbreak, for now, if there is a disease outbreak, you look out for which of these animals, though was exposed to the disease, but was resistant or was tolerant, was still feeding right, was still maintaining the normal growth rate, and was not showing signs of ill health. That is what we will select, or that's what we select as disease resistant. Yes. We don't end there, but we are expected to go further to do what we call sequencing. So we take the blood sample, take it to the lab, genotype it, and sequence to be able to know that, oh, really, these animals have the gene for disease resistant. The disease, they have the genes that will code for the proteins that actually resist diseases. Just as somebody will be exposed to COVID and will not be down with it. So it starts from there. Are you getting the concept? Yes. So, and that is my area of specialization, where we do animal breeding and genetics. So we select for disease-resistant animals first. Then, when we are done with that, we move on to look at the environment. In the environment, first we talk about biosafety. Biosafety, that is anything that has to do with biological means of transporting or transferring or transmitting diseases. So one, when you have to bring animals to the farm, we make sure that there's an isolation pen far away from where the existing animals are at the farm. And that isolation pen is at the end point of the direction of the wind. Okay. We set it differently so that when if we have the wind blowing this way, the isolation pen should not be at this side that it can actually bring diseases to, no, you have to put it at a different place. So biosafety, we look at that. Then if you have to come to the farm, we need to ensure that you have not visited a farm before coming to our place. If you have visited a farm, you may have to go and change yourself before coming. That is that. And then also, because diseases, like you said, you can lose everything. So one, with the environment, you look at what kind of predisposing factors that you have. Yes. So do you have disinfectants? We make sure that there is disinfectant at the place, that before you be able to walk to the pens. Yes, and all that. And then also we make sure that you have to follow certain basic vaccination schedules. Yes, some of the diseases, you cannot do away with them. Yes, no matter how well you try, even with the best of genetics, you may still be exposed. The fact that you are not down doesn't mean that you are not affected. You may be affected, you may not be down, but your system is still using energy to fight it. Energy that should have been used for synthesis of eggs, synthesis of muscle to meat or milk, you still be using it. Yes, so we look at it in a holistic manner. Getting the right genetic makeup. The animal must be resistant to the disease. You select that one. And so, yes, farmers, we advise them, if you are going in for a breed, it should be that breed that is known to be disease resistant first. Then, when you have come and you are managing it, you must ensure that your safety, your biosecurity or biosafety issues are in place. And then people will just, oh, he's moving from one farm to another. He's wearing the same Wellington boot. He's from his farm. He's going to pick maybe Wellington boot. He's going to pick wheelbarrow or a vaccine from another farm. We don't do that. You have to. We must get our. First of all, we must understand it first and let our farmers appreciate it. Then there are certain, like I said, certain vaccinations that you shouldn't overlook. You must undertake it. You must make sure that you have a schedule to undertake your vaccination, and you take the vaccines from the right sources, because what you call the cold chain, if you break the cold chain in the process of the handling, okay, from the source or the factory to where you are going to administer the drug, if there is a break in the cold chain, it can affect the efficacy or the potency of it. So you say, yes, I've given the vaccine, but it didn't work. So all this, and that's why I said that sustainability has to be integrated. It's an integrated and coordinated activity. It doesn't live in isolation. I'm a farmer, I'm going to do vaccination. But we are talking about how potent that vaccine is from the source. And also at this time, I must say that because of global climate change, most of the livestock species that we have, or breeds, some of them have developed what we call resistance to some, the causative organisms have developed some resistance, and even some of the livestock as well. Why is it that now we are advocating that we don't use antibiotics? Because he has used, if you use antibiotics and antibiotic residues are in the poultry product, like the eggs or the meat, assuming I give an antibiotics, there's what we call withdrawal period. I must make sure that within that time, I don't consume or use the product from the livestock. If it is milk, everything must go to another use, not consumption. But who does that, especially in our part of the world? So when you do that, the animal develops, if you take it, you get it into your system. And your system develops resistance. If you are down with what we call a bacterial disease, and you take that antibiotic, it will not work. So these are is an integrated thing. So the animals, yes, are there, but because of global climate change, the animals themselves may develop the resistance, resulting from also poor use or misuse on the part of the farmers, and then also resistance by the causative organism itself. Now, a lot of PPR vaccines don't work. PPR, that is, it is pneumonia that affects most ruminants. Yes. It is, I know, yes, I know that most of our vets, people who will go to the field, they tell us that the PPR they administer don't really work. So, handling diseases, we must understand the concept very well to be able to fight animal diseases. And I think that we can win the fight if we do things right.
Right, okay, all right. We'll go for a short break, and when we come back, we shall continue with this discussion. Hello, Africa. You're welcome to AgroLink on AAU TV. AgroLink is a program that aims at showcasing and highlighting agricultural activities on the continent. You're welcome back from the break. Okay, so Doc, you mentioned earlier that when it comes to even the selection of animals, farmers should consider selecting animals that are disease resistant, and even the administration of antibiotics to birds. Yeah. But you realize that in our part of the world, I mean, if you're going to buy from a farmer, he will tell you that, oh, my version is disease resistant, my version grows so fast, my version this. And then you also realize that even with of course, when you go to a farm to go and buy during festive season to buy livestock, there's absolutely no way the farmer will tell you, I just administered antibiotics. They'll sell it to you. And so how are the consumers and even the farmers protected along these lines if animal scientists are clearly not being involved along the value chain?
All right, so thank you for that question. And you see, we, especially those in Africa, there is something that we must all come to realize, and that is being honest. That one, if we don't change, you see, we must be honest to follow protocols. And the implementing agencies should do their work to ensure that people comply with protocols.
Exactly.
You see, so elsewhere, if somebody buys even meat from a supermarket and there is a problem, there is traceability, they can trace the source. Here, who is supposed to check that there is no residue above a threshold level in that meat? Even our vegetable that we consume, chemicated, the person sprayed the thing the following day. In fact, if you sprayed maybe cabbage, and you just cut it and give the some to even our rabbits, you will still have some of the residue in the rabbit. If I go and slaughter, I mean, yes, because it will be absorbed into the bloodstream. There are some chemicals that do not get breakdown easily. That's why now they have banned products like this run up and other things they are advocating, because there are chemicals in it, the active ingredient that can last as long as 70 years. Yes, and it's some maybe carcinogenic and all that. Most of the diseases that we have. So, in a nutshell, we must be honest with ourselves, be truthful. If the animals have been on that, make sure you observe the withdrawal period. When you take the container, you will see it on it. That withdrawal period is maybe 14 days. We must be honest. The other thing is that our support systems should be working. Yes, our support system should be working. Our veterinary services and all that, yes, they should be working to ensure that, yes, people comply. If you don't comply, we don't give you permit. Yes, in fact, we don't certify you to be able to sell your product. But now,
that's one of the issues as well.
Exactly.
People don't even go for permits.
Yes, people don't go for permit, and then because it has to be certified, and that certification ensures that you are going through a certain process of getting things done right or complying with the protocols. Then you get certified. But that is not done. And then also, yes, we have people, like I said, he's aware that man who is supposed to see to the compliance, he's aware. He has only, overlooked. He has taken, just as some people will take something and then they will let you have your way out.
Exactly.
So that honesty must be part of us. If we don't, why is it that as a country, at a point in time, they had to ban the export of some of our products? It's because we say we will not comply. If you not comply, you lose out on the market. They will flood your market with their products. And once they do that, they will compete and kill your local industries. They will kill your local poultry industry. They will kill your local livestock industry. So we must do things right in order to be even competitive on the global scale or on the global market. Because now we have almost every national of the world in Ghana. Name them. They are all here. And they want to patronize products here. They don't want to be, bringing it from outside. They want local content. But are our people doing the right thing? Are they honest enough? And our compliant systems also, working to ensure that there is compliance. You go there, they may also tell you that the support they need to do that, they are not getting. And so, you see, so we must be honest and be serious to do things right and get the right results. People will go to our farm and go and kill to go and buy meat. Why? Because they know that we ensure strict adherence to protocols. People will go and book for a week or two, they may not get even eggs. People will go and kill to get eggs. They were not getting because they know that we don't use certain chemicals. Our products are, very good and genuine. So that is what we are talking about. If you have such a brand, it will sell. People will go and kill for it. And you will get a market. You
Especially
compete.
Now that people are so health conscious. They're willing to invest in...
Yes, people are looking at their health. Now, health issues resulting from lifestyle is a key. So people's lifestyle now, people are becoming more, especially middle class, communities, university community like this that is more enlightened. The middle class people, they wouldn't just come and then buy anything. So we must do things right and get the right results.
All right. And then interestingly, you mentioned poultry. we realize that in our part of the world, we import a lot of poultry products, which to some extent is a bit, it doesn't really make sense, because you realize that there are so many poultry farms. There are everywhere you pass, you find some. In fact, every region, you find not less than 10. However, we don't seem to produce enough to feed the local market. Is it because we are not producing enough? Is it value addition? Or what makes the poultry industry in this part of the world, well, incapable of meeting the demand?
Okay, thank you once again. It's a number of factors. So it starts from this way. I mean, the poultry industry, we have two major aspects.
Okay.
And in most cases, we'll refer to it as the poultry value chain. So we have the layer value chain, and we have the broiler value chain. The layer value chain has to do with laying of eggs, table eggs, and fertilized eggs. To a large extent, we have the broiler value chain, and we have the layer value chain. To a large extent, the layer value chain is doing quite well. We have table eggs that for now we don't import. We only import the day-old chicks. But even now, there are some good hatcheries that have foundation stock, or what you call the parent stock, that they are able to get the fertilized eggs, put it in their incubator, and hatch. We do a small-scale research stuff. For instance, we are able to hatch our quail eggs and all that. Yes, we do the crossing. They give us the fertilized egg. We hatch, and then we raise them. So the layer industry is doing quite well because, one, there is ready market, and it is because it is also not facing importation of eggs. For now, I know that table eggs are not imported into the country for now. So that is that. And also, that one is also a bit okay, because at the end of the day, the layers, after going through their laying cycle, we call them spent layers. The farmers sell. But the Ghanaian meat eater once had meat, and so they normally go and then buy them. They buy, and so actually you sell the eggs. You also sell the bears after the production cycle. And so that is a bit okay with the farmers. And also with that one, most people are able to get some kind of support. But most of the farms have banks that they deal with, that they are able to support them. But that support is not there actually for the broiler value chain. So one, the broiler value chain, for now, that is what is not sustainable. And that's what we have not been able to sustain, and yet has the potential to generate huge employment and a lot of money for us. We import we import millions and billions of frozen chicken into this country. Now, the issue we need to deal with is this. One, we have the genetics. For now, we don't have farms that are actually producing what we call the day-old chicks, broiler day-old chicks. So we need the support to be able to push both private sector and then the public sector. For instance, the only broiler that has been developed in Ghana that is actually able to withstand our local environment, okay, is called Aori. It was developed by Animal Research Institute of CSIR. Aori was developed, and they didn't get the necessary support. But at a point in time, I met one of the former directors who said that he was so frustrated by keeping the bears, okay, challenges that he was going through, that he would have even wished that he sold it. He's one of the directors. Yes, he sold the parent stock. Why? Because we should have, there should have been support. Why do we have, there should have been support. If you go to all over the world, they have supported agriculture in this way to be able to produce enough at a minimal cost. So we should have supported them to multiply the parent stock, or the parent, yes, the parent stock, and then be able to produce enough for our local farmers so that we don't now import. That is one thing. So that drive, that focus must be there. Why is that up to date? Both public and private sector has not taken interest in Aribro that was launched somewhere in 2009.
Oh.
Yes, it's over 14 years now.
And still no support.
I'm telling you, if it were outside 2 years, you will see the impact Aribro would have made. Both private sector and public sector has not shown interest. But this is the time. If we are crying of job, then the other thing is, so that is the genetics. You have developed the genetics. The next thing is the environment. The environment, we are talking about feed. We need to support our farmers to produce at a subsidized cost. If we don't do that, there is no way they can be able to compete. They will produce, but it will be higher. So the production cost will be passed on to the farm, the broiler farmer who is going to buy. At the end of the day, the feed cost will be higher. So we need, government needs to subsidize that. It has to go directly to the farmers. And again, I must also say that it's not just small-scale farming. I don't subscribe to that. Why do you think that we can have just 2 acres, 3 acres, 4 acres, and we'll be able to? We should be looking at 2,000 acres, 1,000 acres, 10,000 acres of maize farms. Then you have combined harvesters, you have planters, you have all the implements that will make the work easier. And that, who will not be willing to sit on a tractor to plow, rather to go and weed? In the 21st century, who will do that? If you do that, you even scare people from agriculture. That is not how the Western world or the developed nation got the agriculture, out of, what it was or where it was. We have to be realistic. We should look at large-scale commercial maize production, commercial soybean production, commercial, we don't produce wheat for now, but rice production, so that rice bran can even substitute wheat bran. And rice production is even beneficial to us because we are still importing rice. So these 3 major soybean, rice, maize, if we are able to even give about 20% subsidy to the cost of production, to reduce the cost of production, will make significant impact in the broiler value chain. Okay? So that is another thing. And that one, I think that government, Exim Bank is there. Sometimes, you see, we have a problem. There are issues of paperwork, proposals, those things. Go and look at how many proposals they put outside. I don't believe in those things. We've been on the field, so when we are talking, that's why we have been on the field. We are on the field. So if we know people who are not serious, we know they are not serious. It's just, you see, so we have to find a way of making sure that the thing is working. Recently, the president is calling on the financial institutions, I think just last week, that they should consider lending to what? The farmers, or lending to agricultural practitioners, so that they can generate the job. That is where the job is. So the broiler value chain alone is so huge. So that is that. We should be able to, even if government cannot do it, Why not private sector?
Private sector.
Private sector, I mean private institution, financial institutions giving interest-free loan, for instance. Give me, yes, 5 years amortization. Just spread it, maybe in 5 years' time I should start paying, or maybe I should be able to pay over 5 years. And you go elsewhere, that is how things happen. But you give me the loan this month, the next month you are trying to deduct it. What agricultural enterprise do you think I can run? So eventually I may either push it into a treasury bill. There are a lot of people who have taken non-working loans. They don't go into the field. They are not working in the field. They are working elsewhere. The money has been put somewhere, and then, so it is really not yielding the results that we are supposed to have in the agricultural sector. So either we give interest-free loan, and then spread it over a period of time, or we can have a loan that is having a very minimum interest rate. Yes, people will come in. I, for one, yes, I'm here, but if I have a loan that is maybe just 2% or 5% per annum, and I can start paying in a year's time, oh, why not? I can do something.
Comfortably, yeah.
Exactly. So that is part of it. Then the other thing is that we should look at the processing. Okay? We should have
Value
a processing,
addition.
yes, processing plan. That's why we talk about value chain. Okay?
Very important.
Yes. The value chain, the processing. So we have talked about everything now, production. The thing is ready. What do? We must process it to meet consumer demand. I don't need to go and buy a whole chicken to chew for my family. I need some parts. Yes, so why is it that the parts which have been packaged differently are being patronized? That is the consumer's demand and preferences. So we need to have processing plants that will be able to section them and package them into the various parts that people want to buy. If it is the leg alone the person wants, he comes for it. If it is the breast alone, the person comes for it. If it's the wings, if it's a thigh, the person comes for it. And that is the business we are talking about. So the absence of this processing plant. But recently I know that Animal Production Directorate of MOFA is one of the things that they are considering doing with a new minister and all that. Yes, I am reliably informed from there. I've been speaking with the director, Mr. Bechi, is aware. And we have other people like Dr. Razak, who are all helping. Now, we hope that once they have started, it will be able to yield the necessary result that we want.
Oh, okay.
Then finally, we are looking at this approach of, yes, the whole thing has to do with people who have expertise, the knowledge, the skill, and the passion to go into it. You need these three things: the knowledge, skill, and passion driven by your attitude. Yes, to go into it. And if I have this, you should be able to give me the inputs. So the initiative that they are implementing now is that, yes, once you have, so they should be able to put up the facility, give me the input. Give me money, or if you don't, you say set up, give me the facility, the structures, bring me the O-checks, bring me the feed, bring me the drugs. I'll provide the labor. At the end, the processing plant is there. Come and take it. If it is 5 cedis per bed that I'm entitled to, just give it to me. If I can keep 10,000 beds, okay, 10,000. Yes, one with broilers, I can do 10,000 myself without anybody coming to join me. If such facility or support is there, you have free inputs. Do it. 6 weeks we come for the best. Another 6 weeks we come for it. So you have a
ready market. You're just producing. That's all you're focused on.
Yes, it is happening in our neighboring countries, and they are making it. Most of our graduates, agricultural graduates, are looking for that opportunity now to go into it. If he's keeping even 5,000 bears and he's making 5 cedis every month from that, Isn't it 25,000? How many people in Ghana here will make 25,000 Ghana cedis a month? That by keeping 5,000 beds, if I'm keeping 10,000, I'll be able to get 50,000. Just pay me 5 cedis per bed, though, at the end of every month. So it's a cycle. Once this one is coming, the another one is going. That we can do it, and that is what we should focus on. I think they've started something, some pilot in Ashanti region and then the Brunahafo region. I'm hoping that it will be successful and scaled up. Okay,
all right. So it's been a very passionate discussion,
sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I can tell you are very much interested in the animal science industry. Yes, okay. So now, any final words you may have to stakeholders and development partners on why they should invest in various sectors of the animal science industry?
I must say that the gold of the world is actually not the all gold or the gold that we mine from the soil, which in most cases we have even been using the wrong technology in mining, such as the galamsey and other things. The gold of the world is actually animals and crops. That is the gold of the world. And because we have not improved upon our animals, we are unable to harness that gold that gives birth. Because if you have one chicken, that will give you eggs. That will give you egg in every 16 hours. You can imagine, is it not greater than gold? Yes, we have layers that are able to give you eggs every 16 hours. And that you can count about 600 plus eggs in a year from just one chicken that you have. And so we need to, first of all, develop the animal breeds that we have and also our crop varieties. We have to develop or improve upon them. And that calls for both private sector and public sector participation. We should also look at investing in climate smart strategies that will actually help improve our yields and will bring the needed profit to our farmers, focusing on large scale or commercial animal production.
Thank you very much, Doc, for your time.
Yeah.
This brings us to the end of this episode of AgroLink, where we've been talking with representatives from the Animal Science Department of the University of Cape Coast on the role of the department in promoting or contributing to sustainable agricultural practices on the continent. My name is Nana Isman Basam. Do stay tuned on AAE TV for more educational content.